I'm here in Markle, Indiana, talking to Mark Searles about his geothermal unit by water furnace. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Now, you bought this house. You previously lived in Roanoke, and not too long ago moved to Markle and purchased this home, and had some decisions to make due to the equipment that was in the house. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we lived here approximately for a year, and after we began to take a look at the furnace, we took a look at the air conditioning system, the hot water heater. They were as old as the house, which is approximately 12 years old at the time. We've owned the system for 3 years, approximately, and when we did the math and we did all the decision-making processes to decide we have to purchase all of these units, and when we decided one system replaces virtually 3 units because a hot water tank is a hot water holder because of the way the Duo superheater works.
Right. Now, you previously, everything in the house was pretty much propane, wasn't it?
Correct. We had a propane-operated furnace. We had a propane stove that obviously we cooked on, and then we had a propane dryer. And when all 3 of those systems, forgot also the hot water heater was propane. Yeah. So when all those systems were pushed out, one unit replaced many.
And with the cost that propane has gone up in the last several years, have you ever thought about how much money savings has been involved in this process?
With a contributing factor with the investment we would have to make with the air conditioning system and obviously the main furnace being the 2 most expensive components, the cost variance between that and the geothermal, it's paid for itself already within 3 years, just the difference alone. And it's starting to make more money for us as a result. Also the resale value, of a geothermal system. Plus, I don't have a big propane tank in the yard either.
Right. So there's some aesthetic
Absolutely.
benefits as well.
Absolutely. And it's very, very quiet.
That's always great. And also, you'd mentioned to me earlier about one of the things your wife noticed pretty much immediately was no hot and cold spots in the house.
That she really noticed, the first thing that she did notice was minimal dust by comparison. Living out here in the country on a gravel road, a lot of farming communities, a lot of dust in the air. The geothermal didn't produce anywhere near as much dust. Every other day she was dusting. Now that she still dusts, but the extension of the dusting is greater distance between. And then the hot cold pockets that you would get, because you would get a blast of cold air, a blast of hot air, depending on whether you're heating or cooling with a standardized furnace, you don't have that anymore. Because of the efficiency of the fan running all the time, the house pretty much is whatever temperature we set it, stays homostasis no matter what room you're in.
Wow. And then you've also realized a pretty great health benefit out of this as well, because part of the family has allergy issues. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes. Everyone in my family but me, I'm blessed not to have the allergies, but they have them, a lot of runny nose, so forth, and things like that. And that was reduced, obviously a little because we live in the middle of the fields. But while we're in the home, due to the dust not being as great a factor at this point, they didn't suffer as they did in the past.
Well, plus the filtration system captures a lot of the pollens and the molds and all of that and takes it out of the air in the house, and has really benefited your wife because she doesn't have the runny nose and the issues that she had previously, at least while she's at home, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's the home is supposed to be a safe haven, not so much a place that you come and, oh my goodness, I got a dust and I've got all these smells, and obviously farm community, once again, smells are reduced because of all the air that it's utilizing. We did get the upgraded filter that we can clean, just simply clean it and put it back in, kind of like a high-performance air filter for a car or a motorcycle or something like that.
It's a little bit more eco-friendly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not trying to get rid of a filter every 3 months or 6 months or whatever. And they have other filters too that are a little bit, how should we say, efficient in reducing all that intake. But we figured, well, we're already living in the fields, so we're going to have that. But in a neutralized area, like in a central location where you might have a development, I probably would have went with a upgrade, because the understanding was that system, I don't want to say 100% reduces all of that, but it definitely enhances the quality of air in the home.
And then you also have a couple dogs too, so that also reduces the dander and that kind of thing in the air as well, right?
Yeah, and the dogs like sitting around the air conditioner vents because it keeps them cool in the summer. But
and it is all about the pets after all, right?
Yeah. for now.
Now, have you recommended the system to other people at all?
Yes, actually, one friend of mine at church, local church that we attend, he had a situation with another geothermal design, and he just didn't like it. And he knew we were investing, that being the key investment. And he had approached me and said, "Hey, I understood you just had this done. What would you recommend?" And my understanding was through him that Colliers came out, they did a full evaluation of the home, and they'd found out they didn't put the right system in, and it was virtually a brand new home. And they said, if you put this system, then you will be able to utilize your pocketbook a lot better, and your home is going to stay cooler and also more efficient in the winter. And he's definitely noticed that.
And how did the installation process go with Colliers Heating and Air? Was it much more efficient and easy than you thought it might be? Or
probably the biggest word I would use would be seamless. I went to work. My wife stayed home that day, and I came home and I had a new furnace and a whole unit in the garage. The very next day, they finished things up. I would say they were done in approximately 10 to 14 working hours. I had a big run, of a 300. We buried it because they have different options for where to put the geothermal lines.
right. So you also got the service plan with this. So they're coming out and servicing this for you all the time. How would you rate Colliers customer service?
A++. Every time I've had an issue or a concern, not only did they care about my problem, they listened. They didn't pre-assume anything. They found out what I needed, and if it was amicably settled in a situation where, hey, Mark wants this, we can do this, they've always went above and beyond.
Service and value. Colliers Heating and Air.